Call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Kokenauer?
Yes.
Mr. Parchman?
Yeah. Here.
Mr. Martray?
Here.
Mr. Martucci?
Here.
Mr. Montiel? Mr. Rezzi?
Here.
Mrs. Sangston? Here. Mr. Campbell?
Here. Stand for a moment of silence and pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
So moved.
A motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. A motion for the treasurer's report.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. A motion for the payment of the general and federal fund bills.
So moved.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Motion for the payment of cafeteria fund bills. Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next we have a presentation by Dr. Shauna Little and Gina Irvin.
Good evening. I'm Gina Irwin, a digital media teacher. Here with me tonight, I have several students who had a big role in creating the new Career and Technical Center's promotional video. Students, if you could please stand when I call your name for a moment. Nikki Farrell was our chief editor on this project. Aubrey Skiles and Megan Flynn worked on the masonry segment of this video. Mayala Saxon and Grace Tereski worked on the welding section. And Marissa Miner and Emma Hall worked on the HVAC section. Thank you, students, for taking the time out of your summer to be here. We really appreciate it. And members of the board, you'll be seeing their hard work in a few moments. First, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the process behind making this video from start to finish and the learning experience that these students had in producing a video of this time for the district. Dr. Shauna Little, Mr. Bruce James and I started discussing and planning for this video back in March and had several calls on speakerphone involving the students in those conversations and brainstorming sessions. Production began on April 1st when I took 4 students to the CTC for a full day of interviewing the Tech Center's teachers and students. The core interview team consisted of 8th graders Nikki Farrell, Chloe Tyke, Cassidy Callahan, and Avery Christopher. These students brainstormed ahead of time and came up with the interview questions that would drive discussion to be used as voiceover for this promotional video. On this production day, the core interview team set up the equipment in about 13 to 14 different areas in the CTC. They were on the go all day like a professional production crew, setting up the equipment, taking it down, and repeating for each shop that they would visit. It was a long and exhausting day, but these students conquered it. Their role was so much more than just interviewing and filming. These digital media students got the CTC students comfortable speaking on camera, as this was something outside of their comfort zones and not something that they do every day. So seeing middle school students guide and coach high school students in public speaking was really a neat thing to witness. Production continued a week later when I took the full crew to film cinematic footage and action shots that you will see in each shot. The nice thing is that in this digital age, the students were able to capture stunning shots just using their phones and the school's GoPros. They just had to learn and practice ahead of time how to capture shots in unique angles, and that meant no filming at eye level. Basically, they learned how to be photographers or true videographers and acquire an eye for shots through a different perspective. This was a completely new concept for these digital media students, and they really nailed it on this project. Since our goal was to have this video completed by the end of the school year, I selected a large crew of 32 students to divide and conquer, and that was their approach for this project. So I assigned 2 to 3 students in each shop area, and those students were responsible for filming their own cinematic footage on production day and just focus on their assigned shop. In post-production editing, they ran every single clip they filmed through our editing software to color enhance and image stabilize each shot to make it look its best. Then the next step for post-production was to weed out what they determined was unusable footage and to start piecing together clips that they decided would make the cut. Each group was responsible for editing their own assigned segment of the video, and to ensure that each shop had equal representation for this promotional video, the students were challenged in making their segment exactly 45 seconds long. Now, while 45 seconds might not seem like much, it was actually a big challenge because they had a lot of footage to go through and to determine what footage wouldn't make the cut. So this really gave them critical thinking experience in a real-world setting, as they had to sort through interview footage, some of which was almost 10 minutes long total, among everyone who was interviewed in just their shop alone. And then they had to structure their selected footage so it would really tell the story of each vocational area. Once all 15 segments of the video were turned into me for a grade, 8th grade chief editor Nikki Farrell, who's present here tonight, he pieced all the segments together, added music, and any additional post-production cleanup that was necessary to publish this video. Nikki was also our drone pilot for this video, and he captured great aerial shots of the Career Center, which you can see right there. This project was completely student-driven, and as their teacher, I determined the students' individual strengths when assigning additional tasks that were critical for making this video have a polished and professional look. 7th grader Caden Swank was responsible for designing the lower thirds title and name bars that you see in the video, which really gave this a professional appearance. 7th grader Jaden Kuzer used his sharp graphic design skills to design the image screens that introduce each shop. 7th grader Sophia Cochis wrote the script for the video's introduction, and 8th grader Jaden Mickens narrated the video introduction the last week of school. So the students really did work down to the wire to make this video happen. All in all, this video really came together nicely in just 2 months of production. It was truly a great learning experience for all those students involved. Their first big video this year was the filming of the culinary prep work for the IU Superintendent Luncheon, which was shown here just a few months ago. And the students on that crew used their experience on that project to reflect on and modify their approaches for this next video. The culinary project led us to continuing collaboration with Dr. Little in making this one happen. Through Dr. Little, we also connected with the Fayette County Cultural Trust to make a tourism and marketing video for the town of Connellsville, which has over 2,000 views on YouTube. And Dr. Little also recently connected us with the John Woodruff Race Committee so that one of our 7th graders, Jaden Kuzer, would have the opportunity to design the poster for the 40th annual John Woodruff Race. And in just a few days, you'll be seeing those posters in business windows in our town. So for these kids, it was definitely a busy and productive year with a lot of hands-on learning. All in all year as their teacher, I observed the students reflecting and tweaking their filming and editing approaches as they went along, and to me, that's what the learning process is all about, reflection. I'm very proud of the students who worked on this project and can't wait to oversee them on future projects of this scale at the senior high. Thank you for taking the time this evening to hear about the process behind making this video and seeing the successes of our students through this end result. And now over to Dr. Little.
Well, I don't know how to follow that, but because I don't know anything about video production, I know about networking. And honestly, bringing together Mrs. Irwin, the students, it was a fantastic opportunity for collaboration between the CTC and the Connellsville Middle School digital media production team. Once again, they've proven time and time again that they do quality work. And I think what you're going to see tonight, especially those of you in the audience who might not have seen the video yet, if we didn't tell you that middle school students created this video, you would think that we absolutely outsourced this and paid thousands of dollars for this video. It is outstanding. It is professional. And we are going to use this, the CTC is going to use this for years to come as a recruitment tool, and it is going to be highly utilized. And I'm just so impressed. As always, Gina, you're a dream to work with, and I'm just so pleased by this final product. So for you guys, enjoy. Students, I can't thank you enough. You guys are beyond professional, and the way that you came into the CTC and were able to calm down not only our students but our teachers, who are not very comfortable on camera either. They just had a real knack for it, and I think some of you truly have a future in this. And again, that's what it's all about. And I just want to take briefly a moment to thank the board for all of your support over the years of all of our collaborative projects that we've done between middle school, the high school, the CTC, for believing in career and technical education, because personally I feel that's the way of the future. And I think that what you're going to see here tonight is a true reflection of that path. So thank you guys very much and enjoy the video.
Have you ever wondered what the Collinsville School District has to offer to get you straight into your career after high school? The Collinsville Area School District is building foundations for your future. Collinsville's Career and Technical Center offers a wide variety of programs and classes for students to gain hands-on experience specific to their future career pathways. Technical Center offers 13 unique career pathways, which include automotive collision repair.
Students acquire many skills in here on how to work on vehicles, of course, paint, and many skills, but they learn what we call soft skills. And a soft skill means that what the students learn is how to work with the public, customers, how to treat them, how to be respectful, because they're going to need to know that when they're working at a dealership in the community. From here, they can be successful. They can graduate from here with a certification. They can do automotive service excellence test.
Well, if you're planning on doing any work with cars after school, you come out with a lot of experience and know how to use all these tools, but you'll have to learn how to use in the shop. And that takes time to learn how to use all this stuff. And you come out of here with the knowledge on how to use this equipment.
Automotive technology.
In the automotive industry, a lot of the things on the cars are married together. So, for example, we use a piece of equipment such as the tire changer. Change the tire, but then we have to use another piece of equipment to balance it. In some cases, we have to actually go through with the scan tool. We have to actually reprogram the tires to the vehicle.
Probably my favorite thing to do in this shop is when we work on some of the older stuff we have here, just shop cars, kind of, we call them Frankensteins because we do a lot to them. Benefits, you can get your state inspection license, which I did. You can go straight to a dealership.
A vast majority of my students can get a job while they're still in school that's going to carry them through the rest of their life. Find something that you really enjoy doing with your life and try to make that your job.
Carpentry.
The benefits being in this program is it gives you a good head start if you are looking to go into carpentry after high school. This little bit of training, it gives you that head start to be ahead of everybody else that doesn't do it. So if you're going to like trade school or something like that, you just have that extra step of knowing what you're doing and make your job a lot easier.
My favorite thing about the equipment is to see the students using the equipment, using it safely, understanding how to use it, and getting better at using it. See a project come together.
Give you that head start. You know what you're doing when you're asked to use tools. You'll be ahead of everybody else. It'll make you feel like you're good at what you do. Confidence.
Computer networking.
The benefits of this program. If your computer breaks, you can just fix it yourself. You don't have to hire a guy, or you can be the guy that someone else hires.
My favorite piece of equipment in here is our networking closets. They are on wheels. We can roll them around the room. They got Cisco routers, Cisco switches, Windows Server. They got a network printer. And anywhere we set those up, the students have an opportunity to build a network. In the shop, we have a lot of equipment, and the students get a chance to work on the networking equipment, get familiar with the networking equipment, and then also we are a test-out certification program, as well as a Cisco Networking Academy. Cosmetology.
They learn everything that they need to learn to become a licensed stylist for the state of PA. So they do everything in the line of skin care, hair care, and nail care. So the students that come into the class come in with the premise that they're going to leave here and get a license to work in a salon. So they are actually prepared once they graduate to go out and work in a salon straight out of high school. They don't have to go to school for further education unless they want to get an esthetician license or something further, massage therapy.
Benefits, we get our cosmetology license for free because the school pays for it, and it gives us a head start over other people that have to graduate before they go to cosmetology school. For after high school because of clinic days and people come in and like it's a real salon setting and like they get to work on real people.
Culinary arts.
These are the skills needed to start off at entry-level positions. There's young culinarians. They learn serve safe, sanitation, safety, proper use of equipment. prepares them as a good entry-level position starting off, being a real-world scenario here. They have the opportunity to see everything that will go on in a daily function of a restaurant anywhere, from the prep, ordering, the cooking of the food, serving, setup, everything when the customer and clients come in.
I believe this program will benefit me after high school because it teaches us how to cook, and if we plan on going to college, we can get our certificate so we can go out and we can get a job in this career.
Electrical occupations.
The benefits of being in our program are learning how academic skills correlate with our work life.
This program has helped me out a lot through my high school career. My favorite thing to do is to just work on the projects that they give us when not everything works. You get to learn a lot about motor control and stuff like that. Some of the benefits of being in this program are just the experience. You get to learn a lot, especially going up here at Tech. You get to learn a lot of different things and you get a lot of different job opportunities.
It gives students a chance to figure out what they want to do with as far as a career. They get to see if they actually like doing electrical work and if they want to specialize in some part of electrical work.
This program, it'll get me ready for my future job. I get to learn everything while in high school. Heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, also known as HVAC.
Being an HVAC covers several topics or fields. We do electricity, we do plumbing, mechanical, windows, refrigeration units, furnaces.
My favorite pieces of equipment is the metal brake and the roll former, because the metal brake allows you to bend the pieces of metal into what you want, and the roll former allows you to put them together so it's a little easier to make.
Naturally, we cover tool basics, power tools, basic electricity, basic piping practices, and then naturally we do all the heating and air conditioning aspects.
You're starting out earlier than most people, and you already have a head start before you get out of high school.
Students get the opportunity to get their HVAC license by the time they graduate.
Health occupations.
Some of the things we cover, anatomy and physiology, medical terminology, patient care skills, including vital signs. When my kids graduate, they're going to be certified in BLS, which is CPR for healthcare providers. They'll have their first aid AED, OSHA 10 for healthcare, personal care, direct care worker, and new this year we started something called PCT, which is patient care technician. So this class exposes the students to a variety of health-related occupations and offers a foundation of knowledge and skills necessary for a career in the healthcare field. Healthcare jobs are increasing in demand at an incredibly fast rate, so this is a great incentive to get into this field.
A lot of certificates and get verifications on a lot of things in this classroom.
Heavy equipment.
We have a lot of equipment here at CTC. Some of the stuff that we have, for example, we got a new CTO coming in April of this year. We received a haul truck already. We also have a backhoe 415 cat, and we have numerous other machines that the students learn how to operate.
My favorite pieces of equipment are probably the wheel loader. You can move dirt, backfill ditches.
The benefits of being in this program, you get your certifications, like your OSHA 10, OSHA 30, your SafeLand, and your forklift certification.
So those are just some of the aspects and parts that the students created at that training site, and I'm very proud of that, and very proud of the students in the past that helped create that.
Masonry.
Students at first, they learn how to identify the different types of tools, different types of skill set that they need to flourish once they get out in the field, once they get to become employed by a company or a block company. But the main thing I like them to figure out is just learn how to lay out a job. If they can lay out a floor, they can lay out a foundation, then they're going to be able to build up from that.
The benefit of being in this class is get you skilled when you get out into the workforce. So then you already have certain things you learn, so when you go out into the workforce, you're pretty well set.
Mostly, I like my students to be able to think for themselves. No matter where you are in life, you have to be a problem solver. So you have to make sure that you have to have critical thinking skills and you're able to solve problems. In masonry, a lot of problems arise.
Protective services.
This program is called Protective Services, and it focuses on careers in emergency services. We teach students the skills necessary to pursue careers as police officers, firefighters, EMTs, 911 dispatchers, emergency management, things of that nature. We have a working fire engine, we have our own ambulance, we have our own police cruiser. If they pass all the requirements, they can become state certified EMTs. We have many former students here working as EMTs and making a really good living at it, and we can't put them in the field fast enough.
Welding.
Apprenticeship programs, we have the steam fitter pipers came in and dropped off applications. There's a ton of apprenticeship programs, the iron workers, boilermakers, and helping them after high school or graduation. They go to an industry place, like we have a few of our students that are working in industry right now, and anything in the industry they want to teach them more advanced, they'll pick it up on the job.
The benefits of being in the program is it's a big advantage in life. You don't have to go to college after high school. You get to learn a trade while you're in high school.
We're a smaller community here, so we get to know each student. We have them for multiple classes.
We try our best to rotate to those shops and offer our support right in the program of study so that when students are getting the support they need.
I love teaching math here at the Career Center because usually vocational students, it might not be a subject that they're excited to learn about, but I feel that we can teach them in ways they haven't learned math before with a hands-on approach that ties into their technical program.
Our kids have a lot of connection with PA local history classes, so it's really nice to see them learn, light bulbs come on, and get excited about learning.
Seeing my students succeed in their fields and their shops, different activities occur throughout the year where I'm able to see their skills put to the test.
Run the building trades program here at the Career Center, and welcome to our school store. In our school store, we're open 4 periods per week. We sell snacks to students, and we also have a clothing portion with some boots and shoes that we just have an awesome community effort in. Gathering all this footwear for the students. So if you're ever in the building, come up and see our store.
This is a culture for kids to help them find their way. How does this help prepare them for the future? Academics is the key, but there is a hands-on side and a human side to our students that we build a culture of up here at the Career and Tech Center. When they come up here, a lot of them have skill sets that they want to join in with welding, or carpentry, or heavy equipment, or health occupations. We find their niche. We work with them to find their niche.
We're pretty unique at the Career and Tech Center. Not only are we preparing kids to go out and get a job in their particular programs, but we also prepare them for college bound. So a lot of our kids, they're still undecided by the time of their senior year. The idea is they have every option available. They take the academic courses here at the Career and Tech Center. We have the upper academics, we have chemistries for the health occupations and cosmetology students. We offer the upper level math. We offer college prep English. So our students have a good foundation for any college courses that they would like to pursue.
They can earn multiple certifications that will take them out into the workforce immediately or postgraduate education in a technical school.
One of my main jobs is to help place our students into careers after graduation. Some of the places that our students have been hired would include Nemacolin Woodlands, Linden Designs, Highlands Hospital, C. Harper, Fayette EMS, and that's just to name a few.
One of the things our small environment does also is provide an opportunity for our kids to bond with their instructor, that is academic, technical program, or otherwise.
We also really try to prepare our students for high priority occupations. That means in-demand jobs. That's not just here in Fayette County, but that's also in the state of Pennsylvania. Those are jobs that are going to be in demand through the next decade. So we want them to get hired and have careers that have longevity and that are high paying and they can sustain a family on that wage. So if you're looking for a career with potential, the CTC is definitely the place to be.
very good job. Thank you very much. And you're right, it'll be sales. We'll be able to use that for a long time for the CTC. Thank you very much. Moving on to public comments for agenda items. Sonny Bentley, Secretary.
Thank you for letting me speak today. Before I get started, I just want to give myself some assurances. As some of you are well aware, back in 2018, I was targeted for termination, and after a period of 8 months, I was exonerated and all charges were dropped without penalty. My giving up and speaking today, I just want to clarify that I am putting myself in the line of fire. So I want it to be publicly known that I am still getting retaliated against. So with that being said, I'm going to move forward with basically the secretarial test that I had addressed with you guys back in February of 2020. And
Ms. Bentley, if this is Mr. Bradley here, I want you to use caution on appropriate public comment items.
I understand that. I do understand that, Mr. Bradley. However, with the Right to Know Act, and I did apply for the Right to Know requests that allows me to speak about public situations, whereas with our secretarial testing, we don't have anything in writing. Everything is always, nothing is consistent. Everything is from one year to another, whether there'll be interviews or not. Who's going to be on the interview panel and who is not?
Ms. Bentley, this is not appropriate for public comment at this time. I'm going to ask you to cease. If you have a grievable situation, please follow through with your union. Thank you.
No, I'm not finished, because under the law, under the Right to Know Act, this is a public discussion. The public is entitled to know how the district is applying.
I don't mean to interrupt. So, but the Right to Know law deals with the access to public records.
Yes.
The Sunshine Act deals with the ability for members of the public to provide public comment on matters of public concern. So obviously district employees are a little bit different relationship because they relate to
But how about I
personnel
as a taxpayer of the school district?
So you can certainly speak to public matters that would be in common with all taxpayers, but you wouldn't want to discuss anything that's particular to a personnel matter or a potential grievable matter or something relating to a confidential employee situation. So if it's just general public comment that relates to anything that a member of the public could raise, you're certainly welcome to address that. It's part of public comment.
So you're saying that the Right to Know law is not applicable here?
So the Right to Know law is not applicable to a public meeting. The Sunshine Act provides the ability for members of the public to participate and provide comment at a public meeting on agenda items before the board. So the Right to Know law.
Okay, so then if I were to say as a taxpayer in this district, that I would like to know what the policy and procedures are for hiring, transfers, that kind of thing, for employment, am I within my realm of doing that?
So you can certainly provide that, you can submit that question to the board. The best route would be to submit a Right to Know request for any specific information, identifying particularly what...
I actually have done that, Mr. Witt.
Yeah.
And from what I understand is these records were not accessible at the time and they requested a 30-day extension due to lack of staffing or whatever, but miraculously these criteria became effective with this secretarial process.
So I'd recommend then letting that Right to Know process go through, because that's your best route to actually get copies of any documents relating to the questions you're asking in particular.
Okay, so would I need to address the directors again through an email about the protocol and procedures, why we can't have something in writing as to how this is supposed to work every year?
So if you submitted a Right to Know request requesting that information, after that process, and you've been provided with anything that would be available that's publicly accessible, you can evaluate that and then obviously speak with your union or through the chain of command to answer any further questions that you have there related to the items that you were requesting.
Okay, because I've gone nowhere with this in 2 years, so it's gone nowhere. So, and the last time this had happened, I was actually accused of trying to negotiate my own contract, when in essence I was instructed by you during a meeting, and Mr. Bradley, to write to each of the directors about this particular situation to no avail. So that's why I'm going through the right to know process and everything. I will be forwarding other emails to you again, and hopefully I'm not going to get retaliated against by administration for this. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Moving on to the next person, the Lou Bell on tax increase.
Good evening. Excuse me. I'm here this evening just to voice my opposition to any potential tax increase regarding the taxpayers of the school district. At this time, I believe this district has a healthy fund balance. I realize a lot of this balance comes from one-time funding. I believe it's a lot of COVID money. I also realize the professional organizations that are tied to administrators such as PASBO, organizations of that such, they encourage this indexing every year, 2 or 3% to stay underneath the threshold of the state law. It doesn't matter whether the school district's needy or wealthy, but it's recommended for all the school districts. Going back, I'd just like to remind the board, at one time, maybe not even 10 years ago, we had roughly $14 million fund surplus. And I know one member is still on the board yet. We tried to address the dropping student population and test scores. The plan was made to reconfigure our grades in middle schools, close some schools, and go to reconfiguration. Other members of the board were against it. The school district was sued, halted that project. What happened over the years? $14 million disappeared, and then what began with, when we had the surplus, had to be implemented anyhow. We squandered $14 million. Excessive fund balances lead to issues like this, and I just think when we need an increase, we deal with it then. We're sitting on a wealth of natural resources. You don't know what funding streams may develop in the future. But just an annual increase just for increase sake, I oppose that. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. That's all we have for agenda items. Moving on to athletics, Mr. Renson.
Thank you, Mr. Manzella. Request approval of the athletic operational fees for the 2022-2023 school year as proposed, and I so move.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the athletic ticket prices for the 2022-2023 school year as proposed, and I so move.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to award bids for fall sports supplies and equipment to the lowest responsible bidder meeting specifications, and I so move.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the following supplemental contracts for the 2022-2023 school year, contingent upon receipt of a signed contract no later than 1 month after issuance, including the posting of the position if the contingency is not met, pending solicitor review. Jonathan Hollis, middle school assistant football coach, and I so move.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to accept the resignation of Shauna Little, middle school head girls basketball coach, effective July 4th, 2022, and I so move.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to accept the resignation of Paige Wagner, middle school assistant boys soccer coach effective immediately, and I so move.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Anything else, Mr. Martucci? Mrs. Sangston? That's all we have, Mr. Gonzalo. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Renzi. Moving to buildings and grounds, Mr. Lake.
Thank you, Mr. Panzel. Request approval of the lease agreement between the Intermediate Unit 1 and the Conzo Area School District for its early intervention program effective July the 1st, 2022 through June the 30th, 2023 at a cost of $17,100 with 12 equal installments of $900 and $525 per month and 12 equal installments for the cleaning of classrooms. And I so move.
A motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. One abstention.
Request approval to purchase a 2023 Ford 450-7.3-liter box truck from Megan Ford at a cost of $63,607. Co-stars number 025-203 to be paid from the Capital Project Bond refunding account. And I so move.
A motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to hire Crabtree, Roball and Associates to develop specifications for Falcon Stadium project at an approximate fee of $7,500. And I so move.
A motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to solicit bids for the Falcon Stadium project. And I so move.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to post unused school district items and equipment to the municipal site at no cost to the district online auction place for government agencies as presented to the board and approval to scrap any unsold items. And I so move.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the following addition to the substitute custodian list for the 21-22 school year. Sebastian Hart. And I so move.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the following event and building use request subject to adherence to the district's health and safety plan and all the applicable state and federal laws and orders, including any mandatory or recommended cancellations, rescheduling, or postponement, and on the condition that requesters provide an event or use-specific health and safety plan acceptable to the district. Any rescheduling or postponement shall be in the sole discretion of the district and under such terms and conditions as may be set forth by the district. Number one, the CAHS swim team is requesting to use the senior high school swimming pool for Learn to Swim Mondays and Wednesdays, July the 11th, 13th, 18th, 20th, 2022, 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. And I so move.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Kogan, I already have anything to add. Mr. Martucci. Mr. Kirsch. That's all we have, Mr. Panzalo. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr.
Thank you,
President,
Mr. Lee.
just one thing on our new vehicle that we're getting. We can get those signs as soon as possible and have them ready when the vehicle comes in. That'd be great. Also, just go ahead and order 2 sets. We'll need one for our Ford pickup as well. We'll get those done.
Did you get a chance to call Mr. Lake in charge of buildings and grounds? You guys can work that out?
We talked about that a while back. Signs, yeah, on both vehicles. On our Ford pickup, I talked to you about that.
Every vehicle has signs.
I think you two can work on that. Maybe we need to check, are we gonna know the dimensions yet for the new vehicle? I mean, I don't know if we should pre-order.
Not every one of them nowhere near the same. I mean, I didn't know this policy read dimensions of the signs and anything on that policy.
No, it just says they have to be permanently identified. All Collinsville Area School District vehicles must be permanently identified uniformly on both sides of the Collinsville Area School District property and monitored by GPS. And placed in service. So that would mean all of our vehicles.
Every vehicle has signage on both sides of the vehicle.
So when the new one comes in, we should check the dimensions is what we're figuring?
They have signage.
As long as we get the same signs we have on our other vehicle, that's all.
They're not all the same. Which one do
The
you
ones
want?
I saw are all the same, they have the.
Every vehicle has signage on it, even the pickup.
Well, maybe you two can work on that.
I don't think.
Martray, maybe you can call Mr. Lake and you guys can get that figured out. All right, thank you very much. Moving to Carnegie Free Library, Mr. Mongeau.
Thank you. We really have nothing on the agenda. Mr. Martray, do you have anything? Mr. Sangston? That's all we have, Mr. Panzella.
Thank you, Mr. Mongeau. Moving to Collinsville Area Career and Technical Center, Mr. Kokenar.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. 13A, request approval to accept the donation of the 2003 Pontiac Vibe for the Auto Mechanics Technical Program at an estimated amount of $2,024, and I so move.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
13B, request approval to accept the donation of the 2012 Hyundai Accent for the Auto Mechanics Technical Program at an estimated amount of $4,886, and I so move.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
13C, request approval for the reappointment of Mark C. Turnley as the auditor for the Collinsville Area Career and Technical Center for the years ending June 30th, 2022, at a cost of $7,500 as proposed, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Lee, do you have anything? Mrs. Langston? Mr. Gaines?
I have nothing, sir. Thank you.
That's all we have, Mr. Panzella. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kokenar. Moving to curriculum, Mr. Harshman.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. Request approval of the Memorandum of Understanding between the Private Industry Council, PIC, of Westmoreland Fayette Incorporated, and the Collinsville Area School District to operate its pre-K counts program at Springfield, Clifford, and Pritz Elementary School, beginning August 1st, 2022, and ending June 30th, 2023. PICS shall pay the district a sum of $9,000 per year in 9 monthly installments of $1,000 as proposed, and I so move.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
14B, Cal U Fall Student Teaching Placements. Request approval of Tanya Renhold of California University of Pennsylvania student teaching placement at Dunbar Township Elementary School for the fall of 2022, and I so move.
A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
14C, request approval of the ATSI non-Title I school plan for Collinsville Area High School and the Collinsville Area Middle School for the 2022-23 school year, and I so move.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
14D, we had a curriculum committee meeting on June 13, 2022 at 11 a.m. That's all I have, Mr. Renzen. Mr. Mongeau. Dr. Coons. That's all we have, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harshman. Moving to cyber, Mr. Martret.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. We have nothing this evening. Mr. Kokenar. Mr. Mongeau. Mr. Goode. That's all we have.
Thank you, Mr. Martret. Moving to federal programs, Mr. Mongeau.
Thank you. Item number 16A, just a notification, there was a committee meeting held on June 14th at 9 a.m. Item 16B, request the approval of the agreement with Discipline Associates LLC to provide a keynote speaker for a program entitled That One Kid to occur on August 24th, 2022, the Teacher In-Service Day, at a cost of $6,500 to be paid from Title IV funds. And I so move.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes?
And moving to 16C, request the approval to contract with Power School to train the principals with Schoology on-site training at a cost of $3,500 to be paid from Title II funds. And I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
No.
Roll call, please.
Yes. Yes. No. Yes.
No.
No.
Yes.
And item 16D is an addition since Monday. I requested the approval to purchase 7 iMac and 7 MacBook Pro for the senior high school from Apple Store Education Institution at a cost of $30,931 to be paid from the ARP funds. And I so move that, if there's any questions about this.
Thank you, Mr. Mongel. Just a point of order, just so our minutes reflect accuracy, it was 7 Mac and 12 MacBook Pros. And I just wanted to clarify that. Mr. Mongel, there's a typographical, his is a little blurry on the sheet, so thank you. 7 iMacs and 12 MacBook Pros.
We still need a second. Second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And that's all we have on the agenda. Mr. Martucci, the admin. Mr. Martray. That's all we have, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mongel. Moving to finance, Mr. Renzi.
Thank you, Mr. Panzel. Request approval of the budget transfers, and I so move.
A motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the attached requisitions from May 21st through June 17, 2022, and to authorize the district business office to process purchase orders and payments, and I so move.
A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the attached district credit card orders from May 21st, 2022 through June 17th, 2022, and to authorize district business office to process orders and payments, and I so move.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to establish the 2022-2023 school year real estate millage rate of 14.7481 mills, or $14.748 per $1,000 of assessed valuation. Currently, that represents an increase of 0.5 mills, which does not exceed the index, and I so move.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. Roll call.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
No.
E. Do we have to read E?
Yep.
We have to read, okay. Request approval to establish the 2022-2023 school year real estate millage rate at 14.2481 mills, or $14.248 per $1,000 of assessed valuation, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? I hear no.
No.
Okay. I need roll call, please.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Request approval of the final general fund budget in the amount of $82,972,071 for the 2022-2023 school year, and I so move.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the final Collinsville area career and technical center budget in the amount of $4,599,100 for the 2022-2023 school year, and I so move.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the homestead and farmstead exclusion resolution as proposed, and I so move.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to maintain Act 511 taxes at the current rates as per attached resolution for the 2022-2023 school year, and I so move.
A motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the workman's compensation insurance policy from UPMC Health Benefits for $159,187 with the broker of record, again, Arthur J. Gallagher and Company, for the 2022-2023 school year. This includes coverage for the Collinsville Area School District and the Collinsville Area Career and Technical Center. And I so move.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the errors and omissions insurance participation agreement for the PSBA Insurance Trust School Leaders Legal Liability Risk Management Program for $33,066. Property casualty for $167,790. Auto for $13,837. And excess liability $11,290 with the broker of record being DeFuria Mongel and Associates for the fiscal year 2022-2023. This includes coverage for the Collinsville Area School District and the Collinsville Area Career and Technical Center, and I so move.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the following depositories for the Collinsville Area School District for the 2022-2023 school year: PNC Bank, Somerset Trust Company, PLGIT, PSDLAF, and S&T Bank, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the reappointment of Mark C. Tunley as the auditor for the Collinsville Area School District for the year ending June 30, 2022, at a cost of $15,500 as proposed. It was $15,500 last year also, and I so move.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the attached requisitions received to date to be processed after July 1st, 2022 for the 2022-2023 school year, and to authorize the district business office to process purchase orders and payments, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
I'd like to say something on that. Just to remind everybody, I don't get attachments all the time on my email, so like stuff like this, I have no clue what's going on. I'll let you know again.
Thank you, Mr. Sangston. We had a committee meeting June 15th at 10 a.m. Anything else, Mr. Lake? Mr. Hartson? Mrs. Robson? That's all I have, Mr. Pensel.
Thank you, Mr. Renzi. Hope you guys can keep working to make sure we have no unwanted expenses. Keep tight with the Finance Committee. Thank you very much. Moving to food services, Mrs. Sangston.
Thank you, Mr. Pentel. Request approval to award milk and bread goods for the 22-23 school year as follows. For the dairy, we're going to use Schneider's Dairy, and for bread, it will be Nichols. And I so move.
A motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have. Mr. Coconut? Mr. Martray? Lynn? That's all we have, Mr. Penzo. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sankey. Moving to personnel and review and liaison, Mr. Lake.
Thank you, Mr. Panzel. Request approval for Megan Slyhoff, teacher, to take a child care leave of absence for 22-23 school year. I so move.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to increase the custodial summer help wage to $10 per hour. I so move.
Motion and a second. Sorry, didn't hear. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to accept the resignation of Dr. Shauna Little, Workforce Development Coordinator, effective July the 4th, 2022, and to post and advertise for the position. And I so move. Reluctantly.
I'd like to say something too.
We have a
Thank you for all-
reluctantly second, but go ahead.
Thank you for all you've done. It's just been awesome. I mean, this school district is really going to miss you, and we're going to miss you, and I could be in tears. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to miss this very, very much. I appreciate everything. The board has done on the support. Some of you were on the board whenever I was hired back in 2017. I've had nothing but a positive experience here, and I greatly appreciate all that you guys have done for me. It's only given the CTC over the years. So thank you guys so much, and I appreciate the opportunity to continue to coach the high school basketball team as well.
Thank you very much, Dr. Little. Unfortunately, we do have to take this vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to accept the retirement of Joanne Snyder, cafeteria worker, effective June the 6th, 2022, and I so move.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
The following sabbatical leave is confirmed by the board. Donna Fosbrink, teacher, 22-23 school year. Shelley Murphy, teacher, first semester of the 22-23 school year. And I so move.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to pay annual invoice to Frontline Technologies, AESOP, for absence and substitute management for the 22-23 school year in the amount of $14,747.06 as budgeted, tech-related supplies and fees in 22-23 with the remaining balance of $8,253, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to purchase 300 programmable ID badges replacement stock from ID wholesaler at a cost of $1,439.70 to be paid for from the 21-22 Human Resources General Supply budget with the remaining balance of $60.30, and I so move.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval for permanent contract for the following professional employees based upon completion of 3 years satisfactory service to the Connersville Area School District. Gina Kenton and Paige Wagner, and I so move.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval for Jordan Henry, custodian, to take an unpaid leave July the 25th through 29th, 2022 to attend the PSEA Gettysburg Summer Leadership Development Conference at no cost to the district, and I so move.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to appoint Joyce Cabala as curriculum instructor and federal program secretary effective June the 27th, 2022 in accordance with the Fringe Benefits and Compensation Agreement for the Connersville Area Educational Support Personnel, and I so move.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to hire Michelle Lowe as a library BCIT teacher effective August the 23rd, 2022, and I so move.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to hire Ashley Mongell as a science teacher effective August the 23rd, 2022, and I so move.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Have one abstention. Motion carries.
Mr. Renzi, do you have anything to add? Mr. Harshman?
Nothing, thank you.
Mrs. Copenhaver? Dr. Bradley?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Lake. Yeah, I just wanted to thank the Human Resource Department and the board for the hirings, allowing the process to take place, and the paper screening system to take place that we've established, and the board's support in that system. Thank you.
That's all we have, Mr. Gonzalez. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lake. Moving to policy and legislative, Mr. Martray.
Thank you, Mr. Panzel. Policy revisions, request approval of the first reading of the following revised policies. Policy 808, food services, and policy 707, use of school facilities. I so move.
A motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. One, roll call, please.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
That's all we have, Mr. Panzel. Mr. Mongel, you have anything additional? Mr. Harshman?
Nothing, thank you.
Dr. Bradley?
Thank you, Mr. Martray. Not on the policy side, but on the legislative side, I encourage the board and the general public, PARS and PASA, along with other organizations that we belong to and that support us. Therefore, when they put out a legislative action, I believe in that they are putting out legislative action that is in the best interest of the Collinsville School District. Therefore, the latest legislative action that PARS and PASA both put out includes the current tentative budget at the state level. There's $3 million included in the fiscal year 22-23 state budget to expand access to advanced placement coursework from across the Commonwealth, as well as ensuring all districts and 10th grade students who choose have access to the PSAT. So in other words, they're saying they're going to supply money out of that $3 million to pay for the PSAT and to help with more access to advanced placement courses. I encourage us to support that $3 million to be added into the state budget for fiscal year 22-23. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Brogdon. Is that all you had? That's it? Thank you, Mr. Martray. Moving to safety and security, Mr. Martucci.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. We have no agenda items at this time. Mr. Renzi? Mr. Copenhaver? That's all, Mr. Panzella. Thank you.
All right, sticking with you again with special education, please.
Thanks again, Mr. Panzella. Request approval of the agreement between the Collinsville Area School District and Colonial Heights for educational services with an annual tuition of $26,946. Previous agreement was for an annual tuition of $25,657. I so move.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And that's all we have. Mr. Lake? Mrs. Sangston? Mr. Amigo? That's all, Mr. Panzella. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martucci. Moving to student services, Mrs. Sangston.
Thank you, Mr. Panzel. Request approval of the 22 driver education vehicle lease agreement between Collinsville School District and TA Nelson Bus Fund as a cost of $700 per month, effective June 23rd through August 23rd, 2022. And I so move.
Motion and second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to accept the resignation of Dr. Shauna Little, Skills USA Advisor for the CTC, effective July 4th, 2022. And I so move.
Motion and second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to accept the resignation of Gina Irwin, Middle School Technology Liaison, effective 22-23 school year. And I so move.
Motion and second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to accept the resignation of Carrie Detweiler, HOSA advisor, effective immediately. And I so move.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have. Mr. Harshman.
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Montiel. Mr. D'Amico. That's all we have, Mr. Panzella. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sankey. Moving to technology, Mr. Harshman.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. 24A, Technology Employment Policy. Request approval of the Technology Employee Policy for the 2022-2023 school year as proposed, and I so move.
A motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have, Mr. Martucci. Yes, sir. Mr. Martray. Mr. Ghost. That's all we have, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harshman. Moving to transportation, Mr. Kokenek.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. We have no agenda items. Mr. Lee? Mr. Ranger? Mr. Evans? That's all we have, Mr. Panzella. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kokenek. President's report. Request approval to submit the Section 520.1 Emergency Instructional Time Schedule to the Pennsylvania Department of Education for the 2022-2023 school year, and I so move. Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We have no public comment for non-agenda items. Assistant to the superintendent. Thank you. Dr. Brad.
Thank you, President Panzella. Although Dr. Coons is a person of few words, I want to thank her for the work she put into the curriculum and especially finding opportunities for our teachers to grow. We take direct requests from teachers quite often, and we try to fill those as often as we can. One example that the board supported tonight is a keynote speaker that we know will be a great addition to our opening ceremony for the school year. That has been a consistent request of our teachers, something to motivate, something to expand our knowledge with our struggling youth, and we think that that will meet those needs, and I thank the board for that support and Dr. Coons for finding that effort. Also, the approval of the Apple computers. We know that we are a Chromebook school, and we ballyhoo all things Google. However, there are opportunities where we have to look at media needs, and one such needs are the use of Apple computers and iPads and the like. With that said, we're preparing those students to be marketable as they enter the job market, having that skill set with those specialized computers. And lastly, again, I just want to reiterate the great job that the combination of the middle school media department under Ms. Irwin and the collaboration with the CTC under Dr. Little. That was an awesome video, and I thank those students. And we look forward to great things with the middle school technology media department and the high school media department. Thank you, and have a good evening.
Thank you. One thing I'd like to say is I'd like to thank our summer help. I heard they're doing a fantastic job. Give them credit. They came on for minimum wage. We gave them a minimal raise tonight, but they came on without it. And I'd just like to thank them. I heard they're doing a fantastic job, so I want to thank the summer help this year. That's it. Motion to adjourn.
Just one thing, Mr.
One thing, Mr. Marshall.
We had one return. I'd like to, Ben Snyder, years of service district. Wish her a happy return.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Marchek. That it? Motion to adjourn? So moved.